Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd, and we have an ammunition review today in a favorite caliber 300 Blackout. This is from AAC, or America's Ammunition Company. This is their Sabre blade black tip 220 grain ballistic tip round subsonic. Let's throw this guy on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. In full transparency, the fine ladies and gentlemen over at AAC/PSA sent me some of this ammunition to review with no strings attached. For our 300 Blackout, we have 3 barrel lengths afforded to us, a 7.5 inch, 10.5 inch, and 16. I've contemplated picking up a 5.5 inch, but we haven't quite got there yet. After we've collected our velocity and just a general reliability across that small sample size, we're going to step out to around 100 yards to see what kind of practical accuracy we can get with this load. In the past, I've tested our 208 grain AMAX and our 220 grain OTM, and we haven't had good luck as far as, precision goes in our 300 Black. Although, a lot of that could be blamed on either my skill set or my choice of firearms, but usually when I shoot supersonic 300 Blackouts, I can tighten those groups up, so it may just be that we're expecting too much out of our subsonic rounds at range. We have our Pro Pal Digital DLX as always, as well as our Garmin 0C1 that we got from Bass Pro Shops. Cabela's, a big thank you to them for sending that out. It's a godsend to have a second data set for sometimes when one of the chronographs decides not to read, that we have that backup data. So a big thank you to them for sending that out. We start all of our ballistic reviews off with our shortest barrel length. This is a 7.5 inch PSA build. I do believe it is a 1 in 7 twist. I do want to pick up maybe a 5.5 inch 1 in 5 twist at some point, but I haven't quite got there yet. Now, these may not cycle without a can on, but an important thing with subsonics is always ensuring that your bullet is stable leaving the barrel before you throw the can on there. So we place a target at about 7 yards or so, and then we go down and check to make sure that the bullets are nice and clean holes through that target before we throw the can on there. It's trying. All right, we have good clean holes in there. Let's cut to using the suppressor. We've got a Yankee Hill R9 up front. Let's see if we get cycling with that. Those are nice and quiet, ladies and gentlemen, nice and quiet. Let's see how these sound ringing some steel at about 25 yards. Those are very, very nice. About 854 we're getting on the Garmin. I do want to mention that for some reason, and somehow I've bent the charging handle in my 7.5 inch. I noticed that it was feeding a little bit slow and it's bent for some reason, so we'll have to pick up an extra one. Not sure how that happened, but I guess that's why I've got spares. All right, on to our 10.5 inch. Again, this is a PSA build. This has a 1 in 8 twist barrel. Got lock back on there. Our holes are clean. That's important, folks. Gotta have some clean holes, wink, wink. Brought the R9 on here. Let's see what this sounds like. Oh. Got a failure to pick that guy up. Now for our 16-inch, this is another PSA build, rocking the Yankee Hill QD up front. Check our holes. Wow, I'm really liking this load. We are not riding that subsonic, supersonic cusp, you know, right around 1075, 1100 feet per second. And in theory, the slower the bullet goes, it will be quieter, but you gotta be careful going too slow because then you can get squibs. So this 900 feet per second with this load seems very, very ideal. We're stabilizing our bullet in our 1 in 7 and 1 in 8 twist barrels. So if you go to any faster barrels, you shouldn't have any problem with that. We threw our Yankee Hill Phantom M2 on here. I've had this suppressor for 10 years. It just came back from Yankee Hill this year getting repaired because for some reason I threw an M2 armor piercing through the end cap. Let's see how this sounds. I think we'll have to see if we can get a faster twist rate 300 Blackout, but this was our 220 grain ballistic tip at 100 yards using a lead sled. First is the 10.5 inch suppressed, 2.761 inches, and then a little bit of heat got in the gun. For some reason, we had 3 right here, which is equal to that, and then we had 2 of them that flew way up there. Not sure why. Now that could be me because the sun is in my eyes. Then we shot the 16-inch, 2.163 inches. That is pretty darn good par for the course. I think our 220 grain TMJs have shot the best for me, so I think we'll try to see if we can find a faster twist rate barrel. We brought the 220 grain Sabre blade black tip back out, 10.5 inch with a suppressor, lead sled on the bench, 2.299 inches. That was a fresh cold bore. I would say it's pretty darn respectable. I think I need to look into getting a faster twist barrel or one that is more known for better accuracy with subsonics. But as always, your mileage may vary. This is just a general idea of practical accuracy. My skill set is definitely different than your skill set. It was around 50 degrees outside today, pretty calm towards the end of the day. Plenty of light though to see that target at 100. Now I don't normally do this, as most of these 30 caliber heavy projectiles are designed for our 308 or 300 Win Mag, where the velocity is much higher and the minimum threshold you need for expansion can occur velocity wise. And at subsonic velocities, typically what happens with these lead core bullets is that they tumble. So we have a 6x6x16 Clear Ballistics gel block down there. Big thank you to Clear Ballistics gel block for offering some content creator discounts for picking these up. If you need any blocks, they are easy to get a hold of. .800 feet per second, and I think I heard that bullet go off to Never Never Land. Let me go check. 813 is what I read. Third time's a charm. We'll see if we can get one of these in the block, folks. I think I got that one. Fourth time's a charm. Have an interesting wound channel here. We don't have any terminal effect or a neck until about the 6 to 7 inch mark. Then we have our first tumble because we don't have any expansion. And then the bullets wildly dive down or to the left or right. We lost 3 out of the 4, but we got the 4th one right there on the 18 inch mark. Now it could be argued that that bullet probably hit the base there and stopped, but because I don't have really large gel blocks width and height wise, I can't really try to capture them there. I could probably take another shot and see if we can get it, but not too shabby. Around 18 inches of penetration there. No terminal effect. You can see that bullet is intact. Probably could reload it Pretty typical, like I mentioned, again, with the AMAX and the OTM that we tested in the past, you're just getting a tumbling round, and depending on your use case, may not be ideal for terminal effect. But if you're hunting on the quiet and you need something accurate, that's where this is going to shine. You know, shot placement matters more than anything to an extent. It took us a few shots to capture this in the block in what I feel is unobstructed from the backer stopping it. So this is our final shot here. We have the full penetration of our 16 inches of block. Same wound cavity there. Bullet dives down, and so another 3 inches, so a total of 19 inches of penetration. Our base is forward. That's about it for that round. So good that it doesn't penetrate 32 plus inches, but that terminal effect is pretty abysmal. Again, though, it is a subsonic round. Here are the two that we were able to recover in our block. This one on the left here is the one that I think hit the little backdrop there and slowed it down. Otherwise, this one on the right is the one that we found around 19 inches. There is a little bit of deformation on the backside, otherwise unaffected. Very pretty looking bullets, just have those rifling marks in there. Well, folks, let's close this one out. AAC, you did a phenomenal job building a very quiet subsonic 300 Blackout with our 220 grain Sabre blade black tip round. We had good function in all of our firearms. I think with our little 7.5 inch, we had some hiccups because the charging handle actually was bent, so it was slowing the bolt carrier down. But once we threw the suppressor on there, we were getting good function in all of our guns. We stayed subsonic, so that's always a good thing for me. And with our 1-in-7 and 1-in-8 twist barrels, we were able to stabilize those rounds. As far as accuracy goes, they are better than what I've seen with some of our other subsonic loads, but I think maybe I need to pick up a 1-in-5 twist or maybe a higher quality barrel to see if we can improve our accuracy any. As far as our gel results go, that's pretty much what I was expecting that round to do, was to tumble and penetrate the full length of the block. I was expecting it to go 32 inches, but glad that it stopped within that 18 to 21 inch mark. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here. But at the end of all of my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family. Deacon was out here cleaning up leaves. He would like you all to remember to like and subscribe and comment on the video to help that algorithm. Number two are my Patreon, Subscribe Star, and YouTube channel members. I have a campsite in the description below. It is a landing page with a bunch of different affiliate links or discount tracking codes that effectively earn me a sales commission. And what I do with that is I put it right back in the channel. There is one for Palmetto State Armory there. Number three is the fine gentleman over at PSA, AAC, JJE. Again, in full transparency, sent me that ammunition to review with no strings attached. And of course, number four is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.